to hear it. Hey, welcome to Creative Emotions, where you're going to get this motivation, encouragement, information, transparency, and these good vibes. What's up? This is a live show. You can give me a call at 313-266-2811. You can call in and you can talk about this topic. You can call in if you just want to say, hey, Q. And say, what's up? Listen, tomorrow is a special night. Tomorrow, September 22nd, it is Poetry and Conversations. Every other Thursday is open mic night. It is an $8 cover charge. And listen, all the artists come to bless the mic. This is a new night. I know this one guy asked me, he like, so who doing this with you? So who's sponsoring and who doing this and who doing that? And I'm just like, I'm doing it. It's me. Like, no, I've been doing poetry for a long time. I've been in the poetry community. I just haven't been in the community, if that makes a difference. But, you know, I know people by face. I know people by their poems, their voice, their eyes, their glasses, their hair. You know, it's just a lot of people can frequent more often than others. But, you know, the fact that my heart is just to keep that going, keep that creativity going. I don't think you necessarily have to be a person that's been in it for 20, 30 years. If you have the heart, if it's something that you love to do, if it's your passion, and you want these young, you know, millennials that got passion to come into this thing, then open up you a mic night. You know what I'm saying? Do it for the passion. Do it for the love of poetry. I absolutely love poetry. I can write about anything. Give me a title when I'm writing. So it is at 21573 Grand River. Doors open at 7. It ends around 10:30. But yeah, come on out. It's Poetry and Conversations every other Thursday. And it's tomorrow. Come on out and see me, 21573 Grand River Avenue. You can follow me on all social media platforms. My name, Vaquita Taylor. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. Hello, James. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Thank you. I thank everyone for that who come in. You rock with me. I appreciate that. Yep. So we're going to get right into it. Something that I feel like a lot of people are losing. It's a lot of things going on around at once. It's a lot of moving pieces around us. And so self-control has been, you know, something that can play a big strategic part in the reason why, you know, we're seeing this impulse of shootings, the impulse of, you know, people not thinking before they act, they snap. And, you know, all of these things are, you know, it comes from having no self-control or not enough self-control. So this is something that plagues us all. So, you know, when you come on this show, I just want you to know this is motivation. It's going to be encouragement. Again, transparency. So a lot of things that I talk about is either going through it or I've already been through it or it's something I've learned. It's something I observed, but it's always going to be some information that can help you along this journey so you can be the best version of yourself. So this is what this is about. And I appreciate that. Do you give yourself permission to go off on people? This is a real thing. Think about that. Do you give yourself permission? Like, well, this is how I am. Or I grew up this way. Or this is just how I talk. Or, you know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real. Whatever it is. Do you feel like that's something that you do to yourself? Do you give yourself permission to go off on people? Do you find reasons to give yourself more leeway in holding others accountable to things that you won't hold yourself accountable to? You know, that's a real thing. You know, you have to be accountable for yourself. We can't expect, you know, certain things from people that we wouldn't do. I mean, that's kind of just, it's unrealistic. I think that's where a lot of the head button come in with a lot of us. It's just, I expect you to treat me this way, but I ain't treating you that way. That ain't cool. And that's a part of having self-control. So self-control is the ability to control oneself in particular one's emotions and desires or the expression of them in one's behavior, especially in difficult situations. So when you think about at work, at home, I mean, in the car, you know, whatever it is, do this affect you? Not having self-control. Do you have road rage? This is the question. This is about having self-control and just making sure, you know, that you're not putting yourself in a position or in a predicament with somebody that may be right on their edge. So having self-control is not just for you, it's for other people too. So it's important that we just make sure we, check yourself with this. Check yourself and really think about that. Do you know the cases for road rage are on the rise? Road rage, listen, when people don't have control over areas in their life, that's the only thing they have, this quiet time in the car. They losing it. You don't know what they're thinking about. You don't know about their day, what's going on. Something happened. People have been losing it. And so this is a part of self-control. So according to everytownresearch.org, last year was one of the deadliest years on record for the United States. In 2021, gun homicides and non-suicide related shootings took approximately 20,700 lives, a 6% increase from the last year of the pandemic in 2020. In 2021, an average of 44 people per month were shot and killed or wounded in road rage shootings, double the pre-pandemic average. Really? Shootings? So it ain't just nobody mugging you, trying to take your stuff and all that, even though that's happening as well. This is just road rage. Just the percentage of road rage, 20,700 people died. 44 people per month. That's crazy. But I bring this up specifically because with the gun presence, something that can be a stare down, a few choice words, can literally end in a homicide. First 48 over road rage. With the incident, bystanders getting hurt, all because of no self-control. So this is taking self-accountability. Again, if you're just joining me, today's show is about self-control. How is it affecting you? Do you have self-control? Are you dealing with someone that's not operating in self-control? How is that affecting your life? How is it affecting your relationship? Think about this. This affects us in many ways than one. But all we're responsible for is ourselves at the end of the day. So I really, really push self-accountability, self-discovery. Make sure you check in yourself. Do a lot of self-checks throughout the day. Before you blame another person, really take a look at yourself. Really take a look in the mirror and say, wait a minute, hold on. Is it me or is it outside of me? Because a lot of times the things that happen outside of us is just to get our attention inside. And so that helps us, to be able to be in a place where, we can look in the mirror and really, really take that self-accountability because it's important. But 9 times out of 10, you probably never see these people again. If you get in road rage incidents, you probably never see them. You done had a whole little situation and got your blood boiling, your heart beating, your hands sweaty, you about to go crazy, and you taking that energy with you everywhere you go. Man, I was just riding by and this and that. And so you don't even understand like that. I had this happen to me before, and this is how I know when it's spiritual. I had this happen to me, and I'm driving. And any other time, I'm just paying attention. I'm watching my mirrors. I'm making sure I'm good. But this man got my attention. He got me outside of myself, and I knew it was spiritual because when I looked at that man, he started laughing at me. But it was almost like an uncontrollable laugh because I'm like, really? I wanted to have a conversation. I never cuss people out because I don't, what I'm saying? I'm not like that. But I'm like, really? I felt like I stepped outside myself, but not in a, aggressive way. I wanted to be like, why would you do that? That's what I was on. And this man was laughing at me. It was just weird. And I'm like, it's different type of things that distract you that when they get victory over that, it's one on them. It's one for them because we're dealing with things that we can't see. So never forget that. Even if you having good days, even if things are going good, remember that we fight a battle that we can't see. That's why we have to be equipped spiritually. But this dude started laughing. I said, oh, okay, I got you. But for me, because everybody at different levels in their life, doing different things in their life. So for me, I noticed it. It meant something to me because I'm like, girl, you too much immersed in the outside of you. You got to come back. And so that's having that self-control. That's why if you can build up your spiritual life, build up your most holy faith, that will also help you with that self-control. That's definitely important. But your whole life can be changed off of one moment of having no self-control. The movie Unhinged with Russell Crowe. Listen, This movie will have you on the edge of your seat, feeling some type of way. Like, you will almost not want to beep your horn at anybody after that. Did you watch that movie? Unhinged? Oh, my God. Listen. All the lady did was beep her horn. The light changed, and these people be acting like they in New York. Even in New York, it's not okay. Them people stressed out enough, but I'm just saying. They beeped the horn. She beeping the horn and held the horn. Then drove off. This man had already killed his ex-wife and her new boyfriend, burnt their house down, and now he's sitting at this light. I ain't gonna tell you the whole movie because I want you to watch it, but I'm gonna tell you, this man followed her the rest of that day, running a rampage, killing people in her family, all kind of stuff, all because she beeped the horn at him. And so I'm talking about this road rage because people are on edge. I'm talking about this self-control because that's why people are on edge, because we got to hone it in. We got to bring it in. Not having no self-control, it's a symptom of other things going wrong in your life that you have no control over, that you're trying to take control over. So I just want to remind you, bring it in. Do you not have self-control? Are you dealing with somebody who has no self-control? Do you see yourself operating with no self-control? This is something just to think about. Just think about it. But you never know what people are going through. And this was really sad. Like, this movie had me on the edge of my seat. And listen, it's called Unhinged, Russell Crowe. Just watch that if you got time. Honey, that movie will have you feeling some type of way. But after that movie, like I said, you probably be scared to beep your horn at somebody. You're going to be like, I'm straight. Let me just wait. Let me just go ahead, player. I let people go. Now I be like, if I ain't moving fast enough, please go around. I don't want no problems. I just want to make it home in one piece. I have nothing to prove to nobody. So road rage and me don't go good together. Nope. I be sitting there trying to talk like, why would you do that? That wasn't cool. I was just turning right there. But yeah, nope, I ain't saying nothing no more. I'm just like, nope. I hate that hurried feeling. Like, it just make me feel away. I used to operate like that. And that's off. Just always, you just going. I remember I was doing that so often, so much that I got into an accident like 2 or 3 times. Like, that's not normal. But I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to go get my son. I'm turning this way, looking at traffic. Boom. Another time, I'm like, oh, the light changed. I'm driving. Somebody come in front of me. Stop. Boom. This was like 2 years ago, but it was just like, wait, what's happening around me? Then I was at work, and the lady ran into the car that I was driving to take to the line. Boom. This was all in a matter of 3 months. So all of this stuff happened, just having that hurried feeling, it had me all messed up. I was discombobulated. So just think about that. Are you moving around having this hurriedness about yourself, and it's causing you to have stress? It's causing you not to operate in self-control because you're about to lose your mind. You're trying to do everything, moving all over the place. Just really think about that, because it can affect your mental health. It can affect you, in ways that affect everybody around you. So really think about that. Really think about that. But a way that I help myself, I start earlier now. I start earlier than normal, so I don't subject myself to that feeling. It is like, it's like overwhelming now. And I used to operate like that on a daily. But take an inventory of how often you lose it and give up trying to calm yourself. Do you even try to calm yourself? Like, that's a real thing. Some people, like I said, make excuses like, hey, this is what I do, this is who I am, this is what I am, and they don't care. It ain't no question about it, but do that inventory and really check that. But some people, everybody operate different. Again, this is just, an encouragement for you to take that inventory, look into your life and see how you've been operating. Is it helping you? That's having that self-control, or blowing up on everybody, or thinking the world is against you. How is that helping you? And I know a lot of people operate out of this defense mechanism that's up. I'm sorry that you have been through things in life. I'm sorry that people have mistreated you, or you have been kind, you are giving, and you are all these things, and you feel like you can't trust another person. But don't do that to yourself, though. Like, you deserve as much love as you want to give. You deserve that back. And the only way you will be able to feel it the way you need to feel it is if you're open up. Sometimes being vulnerable is a good thing, because what's wrong with feeling that love? It's nothing wrong with feeling that love. But just think about that. That goes back to having self-control. You got this guard up, so you just flipping out on everybody because you think everybody against you. You got to bring that in. Have a little bit of self-control. Really think about that and count the cost. You can't keep bleeding on people that did not cut you, because it's unfair. So think about that. Think about that in the mindset of having self-control of your emotions, your feelings, all of that. But some people say the heck with it. They just naturally, this is how they operate. They blow up on people. But this is accompanied by underlying issues that are personal but internal struggles that nobody see. And like I said, I'm sorry things have happened to you. And I really hope that if this is something that resonates with you, that you're getting the help that you need, or you're trying to operate in a different space and not like living in that victim standpoint. But I've come to learn that the way people treat you is a reflection of them. A lot of times they don't have nothing to do with you. Like I said last week, I don't even take it personal no more because I'm like, oh, okay, I know I ain't do nothing to you. I don't even know you. And when that's the case, you really can laugh at half of the stuff that go on. You can be like, wow, that's really sad. Now I'll be like, oh, little tink tink. Like, I'm going to pray for you. When I see people acting up, you don't even know me, I don't take that personal. I'm just really like, okay, they just not operating in their power. You're powerful. Self-control is just one of your fruits, one of the fruits that you can eat off of. I'm like, I want all the fruit. Give me all the fruit. Period. But self-control is regulation of a machine you possess, which is you. You are the machine. That's who you are. That's how you get up. You keep moving. But you got to oil yourself. You got to take care of yourself. You got to feed yourself. But regulate and alter your responses in order to avoid behavior that is undesirable. Stop making excuses. Again, if you know that it's not helping you, it's nothing that's being beneficial, just really regulate that. Look at how you're operating. But we are in total control. You must know that. You have total control. When people say, this is how I am, and this is what I do, and this is that, that's what you're claiming. You're decreeing and declaring over your life because you have power in your words. So what are you saying about yourself? Like, really think about that. What are you saying about yourself? I know a lot of people put so much emphasis on the things that they don't like about themselves. They don't even let in the good. People come off in conversation like, yeah, I don't like airplanes and I don't like this. Why are we talking about what you don't like? Because you're giving energy to that. Why are we talking about that? Talk about the things that, that you want to be in your experience. This is very important. I will keep reiterating on this all the time. You are in so much control, more control than you give yourself credit for. Of course, God is in control. Things happen for a reason. I believe things are divine and everything has its time and its place. Let me put that out there. But you do have control over yourself, over what you're going to say, how you're going to respond. All of these things is a part of self-control. So that's something that you can't really pinpoint at nobody else. I thought about something, last time we be saying, you made me do this and you make me do this to you. And how can somebody make you? No, you are in total control. So if you didn't know, now you know. Just to name a few things, we try to frequent with busy lives and decked out agendas. You think of exercising, eating right, being more productive, giving up bad habits, saving. We're talking about things that we need self-control for. But these are just a few of the wide ambitions that require self-control. How has self-control worked for you? Like I said, I have a few things that I do, that I've been trying. And when it failed, I'll be like, dang, well, that didn't work. Don't do that again. Or, you know what? That might benefit you. You should share that with your children. That's really how I've been living this life. It's all a learning canvas for us all. Nobody knows it all. Experience, it just makes us better. Some people may have a little bit more experience than you. Chew up the meat, spit out the bones whenever somebody give you something that you may not know. It's like when you come to this channel, I just want you to be encouraged. I want you to be motivated. I want you to know that I'm transparent. I want you to know I'm living this life with you. I want you to know that I'm using this platform to be able to be that light. I feel like we all have a purpose in how we do things. And, if you ever come and visit, Make sure you hit that subscribe button when you do come. Make sure you hit that like if you like what you're hearing. But if you do come, I want you to leave with something that can literally change the way you look at things. How you doing, Frederick? But delayed gratification is a huge trigger for self-control. In my opinion, you know, it's like whatever we want now. But Mr. Fred, you know, he could not be here. Chef Fred, he could not be here today. Hey, Fred, I see you watching. He did send a message, and I'm going to read it. Self-control over habits, over your mindset, over your desires that can blind you. Your desire could be money, being successful. Some people would do anything to have or become these. Self-control is needed in every part of your life and decision-making. The more self-control you have, the more peace you have in your life. Have a self-control over things you post on social media. Have self-control how you respond to people when they're attacking your character. When dealing with your children, when dealing with people or a situation, it's good to consider where that person is at mentally, which will cause you to have more self-control and how you deal with him or her. Your response can bring you more peace in life, no matter how they're acting out or how intense, bad the situation may appear to be. In that moment, take a deep breath and very quickly think about how you respond to the person or situation and how it may affect the people around you that you love the most, including yourself. Self-control over your dietary needs, food, spending desires, raising children, relationships. Self-control could possibly determine the outcome. Self-control can possibly determine the outcome. Practice meditation. It could help you with self-control. And this is from Mr. Fred. Thank you, Mr. Wilson, for your comment. Thank you so much. And again, Chef Wilson could not be here today. So he sent that comment on, you know, how he feels about self-control. And that's important. It's important to have a man's perspective as well. You know, we love to hear from our men. We love to learn from our men. You know, I hope that, you know, the women that I've been talking to lately, they are open, you know, to learning. A lot of times, you know, men don't say a lot. They know a lot, but they may not say a lot because they don't want to get turned down, or they don't want to feel like, you know, we're like, oh, I know that already, you know, so they don't say a lot. But men know a lot. And I'm like, give us your knowledge, give us your wisdom, you know, find those women that are receptive to that so you can feel a need. It's a need. You know, we can definitely, you know, vibe with each other. But we need men. We definitely need men. I don't know, whatever women that be on that tip, I don't know. But self-control is needed for every area of your life. It's important in our day-to-day lives. When dealing with family, work, and friends, understanding the importance of self-control and stress. According to verywellmind.com, Stress in America survey conducted by the American Psychological Association, the APA, found that 27% of respondents identified a lack of willpower as the primary factor keeping them from reaching their goals. The majority of people surveyed, 71%, believe that self-control can be both learned and strengthened. Researchers have found that people who have self-control tend to be healthier and happier, both in the short term and in the long term. And I definitely agree with that. So this is important to really pay attention to that. Pay attention to your self-control. How is it affecting your life? This is affecting everybody across the board. This is not, I didn't do a research just to check out Detroit or Michigan. This is United States. So this is affecting everyone. People are dealing with things they cannot control, so they lose their self-control. When you're dealing with things you can't control, you lose your self-control. So I am asking, I am imploring, I am encouraging you to really take inventory of your life and see if you're operating out of self-control. It's time to change that. Definitely time to change it. This leads to my next point. Managing our surroundings. That's very important. That's our job, you know, to make sure we are protecting our temple, protecting our kingdom, because that's what we are as individuals. We all have individual kingdoms with a God that is reigning over this kingdom. So that's why it's talking about your body being a temple and different things in us that we're supposed to take care of. But your surroundings is one of them. be careful of your energy. Be careful of people that you're putting in your space, because that can definitely trigger some moments where you won't have self-control. So that is on you. We definitely got to be careful with that. But removing temptations, that's another thing. Like, knowing you're weak in the area. Don't go around it. Don't do it. If you know that you have been spending way too much money because you've been leading with your money, and you've been, out here dealing with people on different levels, and now you like, okay, money is that's what you do, but that's affecting you. This is a part of honing in that self-control. If you know you spend your money, you don't need to, this is what I'm talking about. Removing your temptations, removing things that will tempt you. If you know that you're struggling with the area, you know it's something you're trying not to do, you know it's something that is harming you, remove the temptation, the distraction, whatever it is. Just try to remove it. Just be intentional with that. Setting yourself up for success. If it's not promoting the life you want, kind of stand clear of it. And that's something only we can do. Only we can be like, nah, I ain't going in that direction. I'm staying right here, without being in your feelings because somebody else in their feelings, they feel like you acting funny. But just knowing and standing firm on where you are, and knowing the different distractions and the different things. And you know what? This not lining up, hanging out every night and I got to be to work at this time. That ain't really lining up with what I'm trying to do. Or I need to work on my business at this time, but you always want to hang out at this time, or you always want to call me at this time when you know what I'm doing. Like, no, let me call you back. Like, that's self-control. That's being, just being committed to what you have committed to, no matter what it is. So just setting yourself up for that. Measuring your progress. Whatever gets measured gets managed. If you know, you're like, all right, I'm here and here, and I need to get here, that's going to get managed more than just you all over the place. That's going to, so that bringing in that self-control to say, you know what, this is what I'm working on. Let me cross out everything I need to do. And because I did that, I made an inventory of a lot of things that I do, and I just looked around and I, like I said, I just wrote everything down, seeing how everything fit, and made sure I'm not stretching myself. But no, everything that I'm doing, I've been led to do. It falls into place. It just goes with the flow. And the little things that come in after that I have no control over, I really don't even stress myself out about it. I can't. Well, like, what I'm going to do? It's out of my control. And that's the issue. If we don't notice that, the things that we do have in our control, we loosen up the hand on that. Like, that's what we need to be holding close, the things that we can control. But the things we can't is taking too much of our energy. It's taking too much of your attention. So just really pay attention to the things around you and really look at that, measuring your progress. So self-monitoring helps us become experts on our own behavior. It ain't about nobody else checking you. It's not about nobody else telling you about yourself. It's really you looking at all the relationships and different things that's around you, and what responses you getting. What response are you getting from people? Is it always hostile? Do everybody come at you left because you coming left? Do everybody come at you timid because you're aggressive? Like, really just look at yourself and say, like, is it me? Like, what am I doing this? It's self-inventory. Again, if you are just joining, I'm talking about self-control. Self-control. How you doing, Mr. Leon, the motivator? Hey, I'm listening. God bless. God bless you too, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate your support. Make sure you share. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe if you're just tuning in. Listen, you're going to get this motivation, encouragement, this transparency, information, these good vibes, all that. I don't know when it's happening, but you're going to get it. But self-monitoring, again, that helps us. And I'm not speaking about, what nobody else has going on. Like, I really have enough going on in my life. When people call me, and I don't do gossip, I'm not sitting here about to take all this time out of my 24 hours to talk to you about somebody that you're not trying to help for real. Like, what are we doing? Why are we sitting here wasting time? And I used to do that back in the day, not even thinking about, not a lot though, because I've never been that type of person, but I have talked about people definitely. Like, we be on the phone like, girl, let me tell you, you know what I'm saying? But as a grown adult, you should have enough going on in your cipher to not have to worry about anybody else's. And when I think about that, I'm like, I have 2 young adults, trying to navigate and find their way. I have a teenage son, that has to find his way on top of me living my life, trying to be an example for them, trying to, pour into them on top of pouring into myself and getting everything and learning from around me and all this stuff going. That's a lot. And so I don't think we really have time to, talk about what nobody else is doing or give energy to what nobody else is doing, because that ultimately come into your space. You don't want that negative energy in your space. So learning how to manage stress. When I feel like now I'm real sensitive to energy, I'm real sensitive to spirits, I'm real sensitive. I can go in a room, I can feel it, I can see it, and it's just real. It is what it is. It is what it is. Anybody that know. So I ain't really gotta, explain that. But I can tell like my heart rate, I could tell like, different things start happening, and I'll take a couple deep breaths and I'll bring it down. I'll feel my heart rate kind of slow down, but things out of my control are immediately recognized and dealt with accordingly. I'll just be like, oh, okay, well, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I know it's going to work itself out. It's going to work itself out either way. Like, what I'm going to do? I just can't. I refuse. With this amount of time we have on this earth, I refuse. If you think how small we are, when you go up in an airplane, you can't even see a person. You can't even see a car. And we sitting here worrying about stuff, that we don't have no control over. It's like, we like this, a ding, a speck. It's not taken away from how important and how magnificent you are. It's just like, we here, we in our present, we in our now. Like, live your life and make sure you're doing it on purpose and intentional. Because if not, if we're wasting time, we're worried about things we can't control, and we're not pouring into our self-control, we're not winning. I want you to win. We all need to win. Self-control is important. Prioritize. Making a to-do list, it helps us not to act on impulse. So what is your motivation when you think about having self-control? What is your motivation for it? Is it so that you can be the best version of yourself? Like, what is it? Like, is it, having self-control, it breaks generational curses. Like, seriously. It breaks that destruction and that trauma that keeps on going from person to person, because we're not operating out of self-control and have to go back and apologize, and everything you say, you talking about, I ain't mean it. And no, self-control eliminates all of that. And so I'm just encouraging you today, really take the inventory of self today and see, are you plagued with this? We have a lot of adults that are hurt and still hurting people. They are currently hurting people because someone hurt them. But self-control plays a big part in rewriting the story. So be aware of your impulse control. You have emotional impulse. You have emotional control, movement control, and you have impulse control. That's all a part of self-control. So it's important doing offensive things without thinking first. Again, a lot of, just going back and forth, but just a bit of encouragement to work on having self-control. Get a good night's sleep. We've been told things like, oh, I'll sleep when I die, or, you don't need to sleep right now. You ain't got no money, you don't need to sleep. Now, ain't nobody saying sleep 12 hours a day. Now, come on now. But sleep is required. It's required for well-being. We got to be real about this. But understand your emotional well-being. Know yourself. Set smart, reasonable goals. Be intentional. Literally, the world is yours. Be kind. Be intentional with yourself. And really look at your life. Are you operating with self-control? Are you affected by somebody else that's treating you a certain way because they lack self-control? Like, is this affecting your life in any way, shape, or form? If so, please do the evaluating. Search your heart, search your mind, search your surroundings. Look around you, look at the relationships around you, look at your work environment, look at everything that you put yourself into and see, are you operating out of self-control? So I hope this has helped you today. I hope that, again, if you've seen yourself or somebody else and you think this can help somebody, send it to them. Share it with them. Share this on your page. Share this with your social media. Of course, things like, self-help is needed in a time like this. So Again, I thank you for joining me. I hope that this has been effective. I love you to life, and there's nothing you can do about it. So meet me here next week. And don't forget, tomorrow, Poetry and Conversations. Thank you. Peace.